delivered it to some of the neighbors. Come to the Tupperware party and see this particular property. To make it even more fun, he said, we're going to have fun because it was near Halloween, so we're going to have a costume party. He dressed in drag. They loved it. He does it all of the time now. He said, I'm not kidding you. He said, we had so darn much fun, and people laughed. They couldn't believe that I would do this. My wife was embarrassed, but she got over the embarrassment when the checks started coming in. But anyway, that's one of the things he did. Another couple who took this suggestion, they had some friends who made jewelry. So they had a house party showcasing the jewelry, but they do it at this open house. And that's what they told, the sellers. What we're going to do is we're going to invite people. It's going to be a double whammy. We're going to get them in here to do this, which is going to help this friend, but at the same time showcase your home. So I'm just saying, think out of the box, with some of the things that you can do. Now, does that cost a lot of money? No, because you're bringing somebody else in who's going to do that part of it. His wife was going to do the Tupperware demonstration anyway. You can be there and have everybody, have a little bit of fun and some levity with it. The focus groups. You'll hear a lot of times, well, we did a client focus group and so forth. Well, one of our agents, I really found it interesting. She said, okay, I want to hold, a focus group. How do I do it? And we said, okay, invite maybe 12, 15, up to 20 people. You don't want it to be a real large group. But these are going to be past clients. And then you're going to have to decide, what questions do you want to ask? What is it that you want to know? How are you going to do it? And she had somebody from her title company, because she dealt with a title company a lot there. She also had her lender there. And they just invited everybody and said, come on. And usually they did either a breakfast or a lunch. The vendors did help them with this, as far as the cost. Just like, they'll come in and set up for our lunch and this sort of thing for us here. That's nice, but that's what they did. The other thing you've got to do, and she had to do, is she said, I've got to remain non-defensive. Because she thought she knew what her clients wanted, she thought that what she was doing was right, and she was actually looking to get confirmation of that. So she asked some questions, but she set the stage right up front and said, whether it's with the lender whom I work with most frequently, or the title company that I work with, or even me, what I need from you more than anything is absolute honesty, because that's why I'm doing this. I want to know what's working, what's effective, what isn't, what you like, what you don't like, so that I can set my strategies and marketing programs up for 2014. The more candid you are with me, the easier it's going to be for me. And that's what they said. So that's what she did. And she had a lot of these things. And it says also, listen more than you talk. Now, some of the questions, how often do they hear from you? And see what they say. Gosh, I don't know, have you stayed in touch with me? Have you followed up? Or, well, I get your monthly mailing, or whatever it is. Just ask them. How often do you want to hear? Is that too much, or is it too little? What's most beneficial for you as far as, the rewards? Is there anything that is particularly good that you like, that you want? What medium is best? Have they ever gone to my website? If they have gone to the website, why did they go there? What drove them there? What caused them to go there? And so they started asking those questions. Another one of the questions is, how do you feel about the way we say we're number one? I'm number one. Our company is number one. We're number one within the marketplace. We're number one within the industry. I'm the number one agent in the company. How do you feel about those kinds of things? What were their thoughts? And what she found is she had to go away from agent-centric things to what she chose to use then as, let me go back, to consumer-centric. In other words, concentrating more on them. Now, here's what was interesting. To a person, what she found out overwhelmingly is they said, what you mailed to us doesn't really mean much. We don't want to offend you, but it doesn't really mean much. We don't have a real estate need, so we look at it and say, oh, okay, Marge is staying in touch with us, and then we throw it out. How often do you want to hear? I don't know, if we get something once a quarter, we get so much junk mail, it just kind of reminds us of Wednesdays when you get all the coupons. She found that interesting. With the giveaways, she was real big on the refrigerator magnets. And for some, that will still work. But now what's the drawback to the refrigerator magnets today?
They don't stick to stainless steel.
Yeah, and with so many people going with stainless steel, if they have stainless steel, they're going to have to figure out if they're going to put it someplace else. And that's what she heard from, I think she said it was a third of them. It could have been closer to a half of them. Is, you know, that works. Okay, what she did was she also sent calendars every single year. You want to know how many of her clients liked them? None of them. And she said, what do you do with them? And they said, you want to know the truth? We throw them out. Why? Because I get them from everybody. My insurance man sends them. The automobile dealership, because of the warranty and the things that we do, sends them. My accountant sends, everybody sends them. I don't need them. I've got my, you know, my iPhone. I've got all of these other areas where I do it. I don't need them. So I just throw them out. Why keep them just to make you feel good? Do you know if they, and when she said, you know, what would you like? I mean, if we were talking about giveaways and handouts, what do you think their response was? What are some of the things you think might work?
Notepads. Jar openers.
Okay, the jar openers, notepads.
Game schedules.
Okay, game schedules, yeah, whether it's for our winning Suns, our Cardinals, yeah, okay. Okay, some game schedules. What else?
Envelope openers.
Envelope openers, letter openers, okay.
My dentist gives me a bookmark every time they give me a new appointment schedule, so bookmarks might work. 'Cause
Okay.
I see your name all the time.
Okay, she's saying bookmarks might work. The dentist gives those out every time she goes in for cleaning or something. Yes?
I get no less than 3 or 4 buyers off of my Keep It cards that they get the 3x5s every month. And they like them because they tell where all the golf courses are. They tell when at Christmas where all the lights are. You know, things like that. They can look at it, they like it, they don't like it. But they've said to me several times, you know, I see your face every month.
Okay, and you called them what cards?
They're called Keep It cards.
Keep It, okay. From here it sounded like Cupid, and I was thinking,
Okay. Good get use someone else when I see you coming all the time. And I had a good relationship with them when I sold them the home.
okay, well, and one of the keys to making that successful is something that is material, something that they would use. Now, interestingly enough, what this group in her consumer focus group wanted most, the reusable grocery bags. Reusable grocery bags. She said, you could have blown me over with the feathers. So she said, you know what? I went out and bought the darn things, and I had, the, you know, my name and everything put on there. She said, I mean, that's what they told me they wanted, so that's what I'm doing. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. So if ever you want to know some of these things, the key is put together a focus group. But again, don't react defensively. Well, I have a lot of people who like it. Well, good. Don't ask me. Because, you know, you've got to make them know that it's okay. You've got to let them know that you're open to new ideas and new concepts. And if afterwards you think I picked the 12 dumbest people in the world, just don't tell them that, you know, because you still want them to like you and use you. So you don't have to agree, but you can learn an awful lot about that, you know, if and when you ask them and if you're receptive to it. So that's one of the things that you want to be thinking of. Now, lifestyle marketing also. Okay, one of the things that we talked about, we said, okay, you've got, you know, solution marketing where you identify a problem and then try to attack it that way. We said you've also got relationship marketing. And you know what, Dan? Frank's a nice guy. I bet you if you asked him for a sheet of paper, he'd give you one. So I'm watching him write some notes on something. I'll bet he would. And if he doesn't, tell him he's a creep. Frank, would you be nice and give Dan a piece of paper?
I like this actually because then it limits what I write, so I'm more...
Oh, okay. He doesn't want a piece of paper, then I'll shut up. Anyway, so you've got solution marketing, you've got relationship marketing. Now we're talking about lifestyle marketing. And when we talk about lifestyle, it says sometimes realtors blog about different areas and marketing areas. Sometimes they'll put together brochures when it comes to this. Recommendations for vendors or local interest. Again, things that we want, whether it's to use the right home inspection company or, someone of this sort. That's a part of what you want to do. But when we talk about lifestyle marketing, God bless you, well, let me stop there for a second. If we want to talk about lifestyle marketing, what we're saying is selling the benefits of that area, not a home. Is there anybody who has a specific area that you feel like you pretty much dominate it? You've got strong referral business and so forth in that area. Anybody? Okay, all right, so Jane, tell me what area?
It's Westbrook.
Okay, so Westbrook is an area that you're working, and that's good. So now, tell me some of the nice things about Westbrook.
Well, it's adult community.
Okay, wait, just slow down a second. Okay, so it's an adult community.
It's adult community, it's golf course, 2 regulation golf courses.
Okay, golf course, 2 regulation golf courses.
And the location.
Okay, the location.
Close to the 101.
Okay, close to the 101.
Airport.
Close to the airport.
Social activities, scheduled visits, you can be as young as 40.
Okay, now, and the reason I'm asking that, okay, so she's pointing out here are some of the features, here are some of the benefits of living there. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about lifestyle advertising or lifestyle marketing. So, on mailings that she sends out, she could say, adult community, 2 regulation golf courses, a nice country club over there that they can participate in. They serve good food too, by the way. And let's see. Close, freeway access, all of these wonderful things. It's not far from the shopping center. So, there are a lot of things, and we're saying, okay, so start talking about this. If this appeals to you, if you have any interest, contact me, for availability on the properties that are being offered there. So that can be extremely rewarding also. So that's what we're talking about when we say start working with lifestyle marketing when it comes to this. Another thing that the consumer focus groups talked about were the business cards. They find our business cards repulsive. I hate to say that, but they don't like our business cards. And they say the why is, first of all, when they have photographs on there, why did you put a 1960 photo on there when this is now 2013? You look great when you were in high school, and for some of you it'd be a little different. But in other words, the picture needs to look like you. The other thing, real candidly, they find a lot of offense with women who use the glamour shots. And they say, what in the world is it that you're advertising? And I hope nobody in here, is using them. And if you are, don't take offense to it, but just please listen to at least what they're saying. You're not there to win a beauty contest. You're there to sell, your business skills and so forth. So work with that as opposed to, the glamour shots. The other thing they keep talking about is, okay, do you really need those numbers? They have home phones, cell phones, office phone, fax numbers. Yeah, you've got just a host of different numbers, for them to call. And they're saying, why? I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to call. And if I don't get you here, am I supposed to call you there? And that really bothers them. Plus, it's too busy. And they're saying, you know what, give us one phone number. Now, is there anybody in here who does not have a cell phone? Okay, so we all have a cell phone. Is there anybody in here who does not have voice messaging capabilities on their cell phone? Give them that number. You give them one number. They don't have to go through the office. They don't have to go through a hassle. They don't have to be patched, worry about drop calls or any of these things. Just give them one number. And they said that makes a heck of a lot more sense to them than us confusing the daylights out of them with this. Yes?
So do we have to include our office numbers? Like for some reason
No.
I thought, okay.
No. Yeah, her question, do you have to have your office number? And the answer is no. Now, the only thing that the department will tell you is if you're going to use that number, then when you answer, you've got to say, hi, this is Marge with West USA Realty. In other words, you have to let them know that, that's what it is. Well, anybody calling you is going to know that anyway, and if you've got somebody that you don't want to know that, you probably give them a different number. But that's the only thing they say, is you need to identify yourself that way. Okay. Says they don't work if you don't give them out. In other words, you can keep that box of 500 or that box of 1,000 forever if you want to, but they're not going to work or be effective if you don't give them out. The other thing is when it says to use the back. Yesterday in the class, I was trying to remember, one of the ladies just got her cards, and so she gave me one of her cards, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that they did this because they made it glossy on both sides." She said, "I don't want it glossy on the back because now nobody can write on it." And she tried to write and you couldn't. And she said, "They're going back. That isn't the way I ordered them." And we're saying, yeah, make the back of it special. If you want to give them a private number, if you want to give them a different email address or something of that sort, that's fine. You can utilize the back of the card. So sometimes having them glossy may look good, but it may not be, as efficient or as effective for you. Brochures, putting together some brochures for advertising can be extremely effective too. But what you don't want here is to waste something. And when I say waste it, figure out who are you going to give them to? Who's my target market? Who am I going to utilize these with? So that you then put the information in there that's going to, be directed towards them. Can you make some changes? Is it an investment or an expense? And if it's an investment, and I go back to your comment, if I'm paying $70 a month, but if I can't get at least one listing or make one sale as a result of it, then I'll rethink it, but it more than pays for itself. Well, same thing with the brochures. But how are you going to use them? Where are you going to use them? It's good to have one. It's good to let it brag about you so you don't have to. I know when Danny said to me this morning, he said, I'll come in there and I'll introduce you. And I said, why? It's not about me. I mean, it really isn't. It's not about me. Don't worry about it. I'll tell them, hi, I'm Marge. Here I am. But there are a lot of things. And personally, I have difficulty in doing that. I mean, sincerely, I have difficulty in doing that. With talking about a lot of the things that I have accomplished. Not that I'm embarrassed because I've done it. I'm very proud of a lot of the things that I've done as a realtor. But you stand up here and think, okay, who cares? When is that material? When is that relevant? What does it mean? So you've got to figure out some of those things. Now, giveaways, again, we've talked about that a little bit. And what you want more than anything with a giveaway is something they're going to use. Yes, it's the days of putting your stuff on fly swatters or pot holders is pretty much gone. People don't look at that any longer. The rules of 7, Madison Avenue says that you need to contact people, and you'll hear anywhere from 6 to 7 to 10 times before they're going to remember you. The example I used earlier was to say, hi, Larry, and he'll say, hi, Marge. Okay, so I've met him and or caused something to happen where he will remember, at least the name. Well, you have to get in front of people more than once to have that happen. Benjamin, are you beating up a fly?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, this is just talking about the consumer focus groups that we asked, and what we're trying to find out. Here's something else now, and this came from NAR's buyer and seller profile. And they said that 84% of the agents really thought they did a good job. But when asked in the surveys, they said 24% of the consumers would say they did a good job. In other words, sometimes we think we're better than the consumer thinks we are. So let's figure out why and what we have to do to turn that around. Wouldn't it be better to have 84% saying we did a really good job? How do you go about educating the consumers, building trust and adding value? Well, we're saying, okay, come up with a unique value proposition. And by that, what we're saying is change your rhetoric a little bit. Say things differently than your competition. In other words, when we're talking about a listing presentation, you might refer to it as a marketing consultation instead. Doesn't that sound a little more highbrow? And I don't care if they're selling a $100,000 house or if they're selling $1 million house. It sounds pretty cool when you say, what I'd like to do is come over for a marketing consultation. Or agent, instead of saying, yeah, I'd like to be your real estate agent, what we're hearing an awful lot of today is advocate. I'm going to be your advocate. Instead of staging, you can talk about merchandising. You know, because again, it's the same thing, but you're just saying it a little bit differently, hopefully capturing their attention, grasping their interest in wanting to hear even more. And on merchandising, just one tip, and I know Gail's heard this, and a couple of you have, but one of the things that you can do to demonstrate something, especially when we were talking about the for sale by owner who overprices their home, and or have you gone into a home and it just doesn't show to its best advantage? You know, it's over-personalized, it's cluttered, or it's dirty. Okay, so go to the bank and ask them for a crisp, brand new $5 bill. Take that $5 bill and put it in a sandwich baggie so that you keep it crisp and fresh and clean. Take another $5 bill and crumple it up. Put it in a cup of coffee and leave it there for a couple of days. I'm being serious about this. Yeah, look at the, anyway, crumple it up, stick it in there. Take it out. Now put it on some paper towels and let it dry. Okay? So now you've got this one, and once it's dried, put it in a baggie, just like you did the crisp, brand new $5 bill. Okay, so now you've got these, and you're trying to make a point with your client, and you say to them, okay, here, got two $5 bills. Which one would you like? Which one will they take?
The new one.
Yeah, they're going to take the new one first. Why?
It looks good.
Yeah, it's prettier. It looks good. Looks better. Okay, now, what's the value of the crisp, clean one versus the dirty coffee stained one?
Same.
Yeah, it's the same, but the perception is different. I mean, it really is. And to me, that's just one of the best ways I've ever seen for somebody to actually demonstrate the difference that a clean house can make versus, you know, one that looks a little more lived in and that sort of thing. So when we talk about merchandising, that can help. Now, the pre-listing packages, what most of the people who have been asked in these consumer focus groups have said is they really like the pre-listing packages. Now, by a pre-listing package, what we're talking about is putting something together that you give to that consumer, to that seller, before they actually list the house. This is prior to your listing appointment. And there are a lot of things that you can put in there. You can put information about you. You know, there are a number of different things, and we're saying, okay, some of the things you can put information about the company. You can put information in there about, you know, personal information. If you have a mission statement, they love mission statements. But that should be a sentence or two, not paragraphs, not letters. They don't want to read a bunch of crap, and to them that would be crap. But you put together a mission statement and, you know, provide the highest and best services to my clients to help them effectively market and sell their property, you know, whatever it's going to be. Some of the other things, it says either the personal or company stats. You know, you can put it in there like the one lady in the postcard that she sent out saying, you know, I've sold over 200 homes right in this area. Well, if you've got that kind of statistic, put it in there. If you don't, use MLS statistics for those of you who are brand new. You can put that in there. You know, you can give them a map of a real estate transaction, some marketing timelines on how long it's going to take and what you're going to do. You know, a lot of that information you can put in there prior to actually meeting with them to tell them this. Yes, Frank?
Are you going to give us a copy of the presentation? Or send it to us?
Wait, this or a pre-listing kit? If you want one, you just give me your email addresses. I think I have one for Mr. Scarpone. He's my cousin. What can I tell you? You think I'm kidding? No, he's stuck with me. But anyway, yeah, if I can send it to you if you'd like it. Yes.
Can you use West USA's stats?
Yes, absolutely. You can use your own statistics. You can use West USA statistics. You can use MLS statistics. One of the reasons that I recommend MLS statistics, it balances the playing field. It shows everything for that area overall. And now, if, however, in that area you see that West USA has a real strong presence, then use it. Use anything you can to your marketing advantage.
Would this be good to, if you're trying to get a FISBO and you presented them with something like this information with your contact information?
You could. I mean, you could. See, now the intent here, however, is when you're talking about a pre-listing package, it's not something that you give them that they keep forever. It's something that you're putting together to give them prior to your formal listing presentation. And so it's just giving them some data, some information about you, you know, and the company and or the stats and so forth that you're putting together. One of the things that I like here, and this is just again a graphic, that if you have the capability with your computers you can put together. You know, how often do we just hear, well, you know what, that realtor comes out, they put a sign on the property, they wait for it to get sold, and then they collect thousands of dollars. You know, they get paid so much money and they don't do anything for it. Well, that's because we do a bad job of marketing ourselves. We do a bad job of letting them know just what it does entail. We don't share with them a lot. And, you know, candidly, they see just the smallest percentage of the things that we do. So when you're looking at something like this, and you've got things up here, you know, some of the things that it says, because I know it's difficult to read, in the back it says coordinate closings, contact lenders weekly, resolve problems and challenges, signs, brochures, lock boxes, call sellers weekly, mail postcards, door knock, answer phone calls and emails, deliver contracts to the lender, attend and coordinate closings. And it would go on and on and on and on and on with the activities that a realtor performs. And that will shock a lot of them because they don't think about it. You know, they just think you're getting big bucks for a small amount of work. It also says in here, people don't love you for the results, people love you for the experience. And that's true. That really is true. Set expectations for the timing and the communication, service control, all of these different things. You know, here's just an example where we're saying marketing plan and timeline. If you're going to share that with them, you tell them, okay, one of the actions I'm going to take is I'm going to put, you know, do a virtual tour. I'll have that completed within 5 days. I'll have it on my website. I'll do that within 2 days. I'm going to put something in the newspaper, you know, and here's when and how, if you're going to do it. Now, don't think you have to have newspaper ads, because you don't. If that's all it takes to market a property and get it sold, they wouldn't need any of us as realtors. But it doesn't work effectively. Now, when you've got somebody, Russell Shaw will tell you it's been probably close to 20 years since he's even run an ad. He thinks Arizona Repulsive is bad. He thinks it's a waste of time. He thinks it's a waste of money. Now, Joanne Calloway, on the other hand, will tell you they do a lot of advertising, and I'm sure you've seen it when you go to the Sunday papers, but you spend the kind of money they're going to spend on the size of ads and things that they have in there, that's going to draw some attention. But you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising, and not many of us will do that. Not many of us could afford to do that if we were being real candid with it. On communication expectations, you know, let us know how often you want to hear from us. You know, that's one of the things that you want to know. And then whatever you agree upon, that's what you need to do. So if you tell them, I'm going to talk to you once a week, then by golly, you need to talk to them once a week, if that happens to be the case. Follow through and do what you said you were going to do. Yeah, no, I'm just going to stop here. I'm just saying thanks, you know, for coming in here. But now, here's my question. Does that help? Are there questions on any of these areas that we have talked about that you want to dig into a little bit more?
Can you
Yes.
share with us some of the slides through email?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd be happy to. Yeah, just what I want you to do is just give me your card with your email address, and I'll be happy to do that. Yeah, one of the things, and that's why I was grinning, I wasn't sure what Frank was asking for, you know, when he was thinking about this, because I do have, you know, a preliminary. I think, Dale, didn't I pass that out in the GRI class? Yeah, okay. I just gave everybody a copy of a preliminary pre-listing kit, or a package that was put together. And if that's more helpful, I could provide something like that. And, you know, that might be helpful, so that in the meantime, and when I say in the meantime, prior to West USA having something ready, it's something that's there and available. Now, is there anybody here who is not staying for the lunch? Okay, not staying for the lunch, okay, because, they're setting it up for lunch. Because I was going to say, what I could do is I can go make some copies of that now and just give it to you and not have to worry about email. But there are several of you who are not going to be here and not going to be available for that. So, if you want to just, yeah, I was going to say, so yeah, if you just want to give me a card with your email address, I'll get you the information. So, I'm sorry? Well, rather than me doing it twice, I'd just rather do it once. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, just if you wanted to, let me know, and I'll just get it to you.